I had 4 friends from Flint, Michigan, where I grew up, who were all diagnosed with colon cancer in their 40s. Only one of those 4 friends is still alive today.
Here with Kevin Conroy, who's the chairman and CEO of Exact Sciences.
It has fueled a deep passion to solve this problem.
Colorectal cancer is the #2 cancer killer. 16 million completed screenings with Cologuard in the last 10 years.
It's the 10th anniversary of Cologuard, a test that has revolutionized colon cancer screening.
There are obviously challenges that you have had to deal with along the way.
Just one challenge after another after another.
What do you have to say for the 60 million people out there who have yet to access the technology?
Get screened. Talk to your physician. Ask them about Cologuard.
There's no excuse anymore. To be honest, if you classify and qualify for this test, you must get it done.
And it makes us feel great about where the future is going for not only colon cancer screening, but all different types of cancer.
Really excited to be here today. I'm here with Kevin Conroy, who's the chairman and CEO of Exact Sciences, a leading provider of diagnostic and cancer screening tools. Kevin, this is a very special day for a number of reasons. Do you want to tell the audience what's happening and why this is such a special day for Exact Sciences?
Yeah, thanks, Chase. It's a special day for Exact Sciences because it's the 10th anniversary of Cologuard, a test that has revolutionized colon cancer screening.
Colorectal cancer, Kevin, is the #2 cancer killer. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
It is terrible. And you all have really, you've changed the landscape of diagnostic cancer care. It's unbelievable to see what Exact Sciences has accomplished the last 10 years with the introduction of Cologuard, otherwise known, of course, as CG. Kevin, you have a personal connection, as I know, to the impact that colorectal cancer can have on families. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that has influenced the development of Cologuard and Exact Sciences?
Yeah, Chase, thanks. When I first started with Exact Sciences 15 years ago, I had 4 friends from Flint, Michigan, where I grew up, who were all diagnosed with colon cancer in their 40s. Only one of those 4 friends is still alive today. Since that time, I've had several other friends, again in their 40s, diagnosed with colon cancer, and it has fueled a deep passion to solve this problem in collaboration with many, many incredible people and organizations and the FDA and Medicare and payers and providers. It has really fueled a deep desire to eradicate this terrible disease.
Yeah, it's really an incredible mission that you're focused on, Kevin, and I really thank you and all of the work you and the Exact Sciences team is having on so many patients. But Kevin, help me understand. There's 60 million people who are still, unfortunately, who qualify again for colonoscopy, who are not taking advantage of a lot of the latest diagnostic tools on the market. What do you have to say for the 60 million people out there who have yet to access the technology? And really, I want to roll back the last 10 years and talk a little bit more about the impact that you've had so far for the many millions that have taken advantage of this very unique new diagnostic tool.
What I would say to 60 million people who are not up to date with screening is get screened. Talk to your physician. Ask them about Cologuard or colonoscopy. Those are really the two, from our perspective, the 2 high quality approaches to screening, because they're able to reliably detect even early stage cancers and also detect precancerous polyps. That, get screened. Take control of your own health. The tools are there. It can be very easy. And by all means, don't wait till the disease has turned into stage 3 or 4 cancer when it is very difficult to treat.
I mean, it's incredible to see. I mean, 16 million completed screenings with Cologuard in the last 10 years, not to mention the fact that you guys have detected 525,000 people with advanced precancerous lesions. So I'm curious, Kevin, can you share the unique origin story of Cologuard and really how it has transformed colorectal cancer screening over the past decade? And with that in mind, I'd also be curious to learn about what the next 10 years looks like for you in Exact Sciences.
Chase, I tell you, you probably had a meeting in your life where you left that meeting thinking everything is going to be different. And for me, that meeting was in early March 2009, where I had a meeting with Dr. David Ahlquist at the Mayo Clinic, who made the case for two things. Number one is technology would allow us to detect colon cancer accurately from a stool sample, making it really easy, accurate, patient-friendly to screen somebody for colon cancer. And Dave, who has passed away, was one of the preeminent colon cancer screening experts in the world. The second part of that meeting was about the potential to screen a whole person from a single blood draw for many, if not all, types of cancer. And so those were the two ideas that left me thinking maybe I should become part of this effort to change the way screening is done, taking it from something that is more complicated to something easy and effective. And that was 15 years ago, and 5 years after that, Cologuard was born. It was FDA approved, covered by Medicare, the first ever device or diagnostic approved and covered on the same day, first ever. And since that period of time, as you mentioned, 16 million people have been screened with Cologuard. Many people are now using it as a regular way of screening every 3 years as recommended by guideline groups, physician guideline groups. And it's changing the world. The Centers for Disease Control recently put out data that showed a significant jump over the last 7 years in terms of percentage of people up to date with screening. And it has gone from just over 60% to over 70%. And this is population-wide. We know that Cologuard is having a huge impact, and that makes us feel great. And it makes us feel great about where the future is going for not only colon cancer screening, but all different types of cancer.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see, Kevin. You know, with the introduction of something so novel as Cologuard, there are obviously challenges that you have had to deal with along the way on this journey. Can you help share a little bit more about what some of those key challenges were, and also talk to us a little bit more about the breakthroughs in the development and approval process for Cologuard?
There are multiple challenges. First, building a team and a company capable of solving this problem. Recruiting the very best scientists in the world. We think Graham Lidgard, our emeritus chief science officer, who moved to Madison, Wisconsin from La Jolla, California to solve this problem, partnering with the Mayo Clinic and developing the deep relationship there. Some of the key technical problems were developing a test that was accurate and was able to detect both early stage cancers and precancerous polyps. Nobody had ever been able to do that from a stool sample before. We figured out how to do that as a team in collaboration with others. Developing a clinical trial or clinical trials that would establish without question how accurate Cologuard is in a population of all people out there in the real world. We ran the biggest clinical trial at that time of 10,000 patients. Getting FDA approval and Medicare coverage, getting the test adopted and used by hundreds of thousands of physicians, nurses, physician assistants, building a customer care capability, educating patients directly through direct-to-consumer education efforts. Just one challenge after another, building a company that would grow with the incredible demand for Cologuard. And then basically changing the way the healthcare community, health systems, clinicians, health insurers thought about screening people for colon cancer. It's very difficult to change the practice of medicine, and one of the things we're most proud of is how we've been able to do that with Cologuard.
Kevin, going back to an earlier conversation we were having around the existing screening gap that exists for the 60 million Americans who are not up to date on their colorectal cancer screening, how is Exact Sciences helping really bridge that gap?
It's a horrible gap in healthcare. It may be the biggest challenge in healthcare, from the intended population that should be screened to the population that is actually screened. And we're working really hard to improve that through three key areas. Number one, through patient education, educating people through digital communication means, on television, through educating their healthcare provider. So that education piece is absolutely critical. The other piece is just making it super accessible so that patients can hit the easy button, and if they want to go online and get access to a Cologuard, they can do that at Cologuard.com. That's a big challenge, to be able to make colon cancer screening basically a click of the button. And then finally, getting the large healthcare systems that are responsible for about 70% of primary care wellness visits and engagements with patients to change the way they think about colon cancer screening. And we're doing that through partnerships with those large healthcare systems, being able to connect them with our incredible digital ecosystem so they can order a Cologuard test easily, get a result easily, get the bill submitted to the insurance company and paid easily, any of the prior authorizations, make that whole encounter super easy. And one by one, the team has tackled those challenges.
In our previous interview, we talked a lot about the concept of consumerization, and how it's incredible how you guys have really paved the way for really the consumerization of diagnostics. And really, anytime I say the word consumerization, it really goes back to this idea of a frictionless experience for the patient, right? A convenient experience for the healthcare provider, one that they actually enjoy and really look forward to engaging with. And really, Exact Sciences has helped pave the way. But that consumerization extends further. We have to the point where Cologuard has a really unique nickname among so many publicly, known as CG. How did that nickname come to be, and how do you think about really the next 10 years, how that consumerization can extend even further?
Well, I think the team made screening for colon cancer very friendly. I'll never forget the time when the team came in and said to me, "Kevin, here's our concept for a television commercial with this little box that could talk and educate called Little CG." And Little CG, the idea behind it was to take the fear out of colon cancer screening, to educate people about how they can take control of their own health, and they can do it in the privacy of their own home. That is putting the consumer's needs first, rather than waiting for a patient to come in and have a doctor offer them to go get a colonoscopy. We changed the dynamic to educate patients to ask their doctor, pick up the phone and call and say, "I'd like to get screened next week with a Cologuard test." That has changed the way people all over the country think about colon cancer screening, and not a week goes by, really not a day goes by, where somebody doesn't say to me, "Kevin, I got screened with Cologuard." it's heartwarming because we know that consumer education is working.
Kevin, it's unbelievable. I can't even tell you. I was at a conference last week with a number of healthcare providers who, by the way, qualify for Cologuard, and they said, "Well, I just don't have time. I just don't have time to get my colonoscopy." And I said, "Well, I mean, haven't you heard of Cologuard?" They're like, "Yeah, of course I've heard of Cologuard." And I go, "Well, what are you waiting for? You know, you're telling your patients to use this incredible new technology. You yourself should use it." And in fact, I've had all of those individuals, not just 50% or 25%, have all told me that they've pursued that next step in their patient journey for easier access to CG or for Cologuard. You know, it's been a really exciting past 10 years, Kevin. It really is. I mean, you are sitting at the forefront of so much within this whole new realm of cancer diagnostics. I mean, we're seeing new technologies introduced almost every single day to help us screen and really catch these cancers earlier and earlier. What's next for Exact Sciences and Cologuard? Tell me a little bit more about some of the new innovations that Exact Sciences is currently working on, and how that will help further revolutionize CRC screening and even other forms of cancer screenings.
Well, Chase, first of all, thank you for educating physicians who sometimes are the worst patients, because they too are human beings at the equal risk for colon cancer as the rest of us. So great work. And yeah, it's kind of a 3X story for Exact Sciences, and Cologuard is helping to build towards a bright future. So first has been bringing Cologuard, the first ever non-invasive, accurate way of screening for colon cancer, directly to a patient's home. That's kind of Act One, all that went into that. 16 million patients screened, 625,000 either early cases of cancer or precancerous polyps found, 22 billion in estimated savings. So that's Act One, that's where we are today, and we've still really only scratched the surface, because there are 60 million people who we're going to get and find a way to get screened. The second part of the story is kind of what we have built in terms of relationships with health systems, with individual physicians and their practices, and then with health insurers who are increasingly trying to push people towards preventative care, knowing that unless we detect disease and treat disease early, we're never going to solve the myriad of problems in the American healthcare system. So thirdly, where does this future go? Building on the same technologies that are used to detect just the tiny changes in DNA in a patient's sample, we can find other forms of cancer. So maybe the most exciting thing goes back to that first meeting with Dr. David Ahlquist, which was the idea of screening a whole person with a single blood draw. And we have proof of concept now with our multi-cancer screening test that allows us to someday offer this test across tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people globally, to detect cancer in its earliest stages across dozens of different types of cancer. That's really exciting, and we're building on all of the capabilities that brought Cologuard to patients and physicians. That's one. The other is a test we're developing called OncoDetect, which is really a miraculous new way of helping determine a patient who's already been diagnosed with cancer. Did surgery get all of the cancer, or is there still some residual tumor left in that body, in that person? And then also regularly testing with a blood draw for the recurrence of cancer, so that you can detect it way before you could see it on imaging. This is going to change everything about the way cancer is diagnosed and treated. And then finally, the advancement of our colon cancer screening. So the next generation of Cologuard is called Cologuard Plus. We expect FDA approval before the end of this year. And we're going to celebrate that because it's even more accurate. We're so excited. And then also a blood-based cancer test that we expect to submit to the FDA next year. Chase, we're really excited about Cologuard Plus because we have been able, with advanced technologies, to improve the performance of Cologuard. We have decreased the false positive rate with Cologuard Plus by 30%. That means 30% fewer unnecessary colonoscopies. And that's incredibly important to ensure that you keep costs and patient impact down. And then we've done that while actually increasing the test's ability to detect both cancer and precancerous polyps. So the performance of Cologuard Plus is unmatched and is clearly the best non-invasive way to be screened for colon cancer. We can't wait to bring that test to patients, and we're really proud of the science that has gone into Cologuard Plus.
I'm looking forward to seeing Cologuard Plus on the market, hopefully soon. It's obviously under review right now by the FDA, but really exciting to see this continued commitment that Exact Sciences has in really improving patient outcomes and bringing next generation diagnostic tests to the market. Kevin, tell me a little bit more about some of the important, like there's obviously really exciting partnerships that Exact Sciences has in play and has created both in the past and some really exciting partnerships coming up in the future. Tell me, how does the importance of these partnerships play into the success of Cologuard, and how is that helping expand the reach to many of those patients who have yet to get screened?
The partnerships are everything, whether it was our partnership with the Mayo Clinic in developing Cologuard and bringing it all the way through the FDA and the Medicare process, that was critical. And now we have expanded our partnerships with health system to 400 health systems in the US that have partnered with us to make it very easy for healthcare providers in their health systems to be able to order Cologuard, to get a Cologuard result, to automate the billing process, to really make it seamless for physicians and patients. That's happening every day. More and more health systems are saying, please, let's integrate our systems so we can make this super easy. What we've also been seeing are healthcare insurers come to us to say, look, we know there are 1 million patients out here, members of ours, who aren't up to date with screening. What can we do together? And I'll give you an example. One of them is a large Blue Cross Blue Shield network that asked us to help screen 90,000 people. So this was a few months ago. They arranged to have test orders for all 90,000 people. As a result, we shipped 90,000 Cologuard kits to their members. Now we're in the process of receiving those kits, engaging with those people to get them screened, because the goal here is through these partnerships to make sure that people have more birthdays, more anniversaries, more celebrations with families, with friends. That's the real outcome of what we're doing every day, is the impact on people. And we couldn't do it without these partnerships.
Kevin, I want to go back to, you and I talked previously about, another unique partnership that you all had within golf. Are there any other new exciting partnerships you're able to share with us on the horizon without giving too many details that you're not yet allowed to share?
Not without getting in trouble with our team.
All right, so we'll have to wait then for everybody out there will definitely see them when those partnerships come to fruition. Kevin, when you think about things like artificial intelligence within the within the landscape on what's happening right now from research and development all the way through commercialization. How do you think about AI playing a role in helping create greater levels of efficiencies for your team and for your organization at large?
Artificial intelligence is impacting everything that we do at Exact Sciences. It's impacting how we are able to quickly answer questions that our customers have, whether it's a physician or whether it's a patient, because they reach out to us and we want to be able to rapidly address the question that they have in the most efficient way. So there are a whole series of different tools that we are putting into our Exact Nexus, as we call it, platform, to be able to do that in the simplest way possible. It has an impact on our team of people who go out into the field every day talking to physicians and nurses and offices, because it can help them understand what their flow is during the day and who they should be reaching out to. We see a world where AI is going to impact the development of every new diagnostic that we bring to physicians and patients, because it's able to look at and consume a massive amount of data and information and help us bring the best biomarkers and algorithms that either call a test a positive or call it a negative, and see patterns that a human being can't see. So we're really excited to kind of across all areas of Exact Sciences how artificial intelligence is going to make the world better for ultimately our vision of helping to eradicate cancer.
Anything else you'd like to share around what the next 10 years looks like, Kevin, and why you're very excited? Again, the company has accomplished so much the last decade. We talked a lot about next generation diagnostic screening tools that you all are investing a lot into, that's going to continue to really bridge this gap around access to the latest form of prevention, specifically for cancer screenings. But anything else that you're really looking forward to over the next decade as it pertains to anything new and novel that you're thinking about today within Exact Sciences or even beyond Exact Sciences?
Yeah, well, I wake up every morning thinking about this incredible future. I've been here for 15 years, which means I've seen Exact Sciences as an infant, as a toddler, as a preteen, as a teenager, and now becoming an adult that can address so many problems that we see in gaps in diagnosing cancer earlier. So I'd go right back to the vision we have of helping to eradicate cancer by preventing it, detecting it earlier, and also guiding treatment accurately. And so I think over the next 10 years, there will be an explosion of innovation where we have two main tests today. Over the next 10 years, there will be 10 new tests that will be launched and will become standards of care, whether it's in liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, esophageal cancer, whether it's endometrial cancer, whether it's these tests that help detect the recurrence of cancer really early. There's an explosion of tests that will further revolutionize how we're detecting cancer and treating it. And the team, I couldn't be more proud to be part of a team that are making these magical things happen. It's needed in this world. And we believe that the Exact Sciences team is the team that is best suited to have an impact. And I guess in a final area, cancer affects people who are underserved in the US and globally in a disproportionate way. Cancer is more likely to occur in underserved populations. Cancer is more likely to lead to a really bad outcome. And one of our biggest goals is to make sure that we make Cologuard, our multi-cancer screening test, OncoDetect, all of our tests available for all so that it's inevitable that we detect cancer earlier. It's inevitable that we're able to help every patient diagnosed with cancer get the right treatment. That's built into our DNA, and we want to make sure that all people are able to access these wonderful new technologies we're bringing to physicians and patients.
This is a disease. The thing that drives me crazy from the medical perspective is that with this being the number 2 cancer killer in the United States, there is really no excuse, because the preventative tools are there to allow for you to catch it before it ever comes to that point. And so for me, this isn't just about it. This isn't just about Exact Sciences and Cologuard. And, again, I'm excited to be sitting here with Kevin, who, Kevin, you and I talked about this before. You joined the company for many of the same topics of conversation. I know I spoke with several of your executives who joined the company because of their own experience that they've had with cancer. There is no excuse. So whether you're a doctor that says you don't have time, you have time to get screened for cancer. If you're a patient that says you're too busy with work, it has become so easy. It doesn't get in the way of your work. You need to find a way to get that diagnostic test at home. I urge you all to do it. I cannot send that message strong enough to both the medical community and the patient community. Please, please, please go and get screened.
I've had a friend named Rob who died of colon cancer 3 years ago. And Rob left behind 3 incredible children and a wonderful wife, all obviously heartbroken. And he was diagnosed right before they changed the guideline to recommending screening at age 45. If the guideline had been different earlier and he had been screened, most likely Rob would still be with us and making people smile and laugh and living a fruitful life. We can't allow that to happen. This disease is treatable. It's preventable if diagnosed early enough. And it's simple now and accurate. So I appreciate your passion, Chase. We have the same passion, and we don't want to stop. We want to keep going until we screen everybody and we bring these new tests that lead to the earlier detection of all cancers. This is a 50, 100-year goal that we have, and we're just not going to stop. And we want to build the right kind of company that's able to stand the test of time.
Happy 10th anniversary, Cologuard, AKA CG. I'm excited to see what your 20th birthday looks like over the next 10 years, with many more incredibly new and novel diagnostic tools, like Kevin said, from endometrial cancers all the way to pancreatic cancers, the ability to test for cancer recurrence. Really, really excited for what the next 10 years will bring. What an incredible time to be alive. And please, again, go get screened for colorectal cancer. There is no reason you should be waiting for next week or the week after. Go and get screened.
Thank you, Chase.
Thank you again.